United 3, Newcastle 1. Big win in the end. Needed that result. Leicester winning. Liverpool dropping points, Chelsea dropping points, West Ham winning. It's getting tight in and around there. So we had to make sure we definitely won the game. But the performance is leaving people umming and ahhing at stages. What did you make of the game?
I'm glad we've got the 3 points, let's just say that. I thought the first half was very, very poor. I don't think we should have started with that team personally against the side of the Newcastle side that we knew was going to kind of go on the low block. But once they saw our frailties in midfield, they actually started to press us really high up the pitch, and they kind of took advantage of that. And I do feel like Ollie should have changed the game sooner. But in the second half, he does what he usually does, didn't make any subs and kind of waited on it. And I feel like a lot of the players improved, especially Dan James. He really added something to the second half, and we managed to get that goal. Not sure if the penalty was a penalty, and I don't think 3-1 was probably an accurate representation of the performance, but overall happy to get the 3 points.
On Dan James, let's really talk about Dan James, because one thing, you know what I'm like, I don't like agendas either way. People have their favorites or their least favorites and stuff like that. Let's just talk about Dan James for what he's doing right now, or what you think he might not be doing, etc. Is he showing some form now and showing why Ollie's right to put a bit of faith in him and maybe give him a little run in the team? Or was it just not luck today, because that sounds rude, but how are you feeling about the Dan James situation? Should we be giving him his props and saying, you know what, he's turning up? Because at a point when it looked like we weren't going to be doing anything much, he pops up with an important goal, then plays well after that, played well in the last game. How you feel? What's your thoughts on Dan James?
I think Dan James is never going to have the technical ability of the likes of like Marcus Rashford and Mason Greenwood and Martial, but what I do think he offers you is a very, very high work rate, a very good work ethic to improve, pace obviously on the break. And I think that there's a lot to be said for that, really, because when you need that, I think he can be a good squad player for us in general. I don't think he should be starting important games for us. I really don't. I don't think he's that type of player. I think the last 2 games, I think he's played well, definitely. He's played his way into form, but I've also not seen anything like spectacular from him to make me think, oh, he's actually kind of got that level to go up now. I do think he's a good player, but I don't think he'll ever be a proper first teamer for us, because you need to be able to beat a man. You need to be able to take a decent shot. I know he scored a few goals, but they've been quite scruffy, haven't they? And I don't think his football IQ is quite there to be a first teamer for us, but I definitely think he can be an important squad player.
And we're seeing that from him now, and I think listen, doesn't matter what player it is, we always want the best for whoever's playing for us.
Yeah, definitely.
And Dan James is no different. And actually, I don't know, I just think it's quite refreshing to see him do all right, because I think when he starts within the fan base, there's a lot of, why is Ollie doing this? Why is he doing that? But it's actually nice to see it pay off, because 1, it shows Ollie's making a good decision, but 2, for Dan James on a personal, when he might have been having a difficult time, out the team a lot, looked like he was going to go out on loan, didn't. To have a couple of games of having an impact, that's got to be a positive. Yeah,
exactly. And do you know what I think it is about James? I'm so glad he's actually being used now in times where Ollie thinks he can actually make an impact, because you remember that phase where he was only getting like 10 minutes at the end of a game and he wasn't really showing anyone anything. And that's why I think fans were getting frustrated with him, because we weren't seeing what we thought we were going to see from him, basically. And now he's actually getting them cameos. I don't think he'll ever be a solid first teamer like Rashford, but he's being used correctly and he's getting his chance to feel like he's part of the team. He's contributing to the team, and that's what a good squad player should do.
What's your thoughts on Martial at the moment? You look on social media, and obviously he's getting a lot of slack, and I mean for his performance. I don't mean anything else. I said I think it's kind of like a back to the drawing board for Tony, in terms of just to work out how to get himself back to his best. Some are saying he's not doing too much wrong; it will come. Some are saying sell him. I mean, where do you stand on Tony at the moment?
I've always been a massive Martial fan. I think his technical ability is great. I don't think he's lazy, as some people make out, and just kind of say just from his body language. And I think he's been an important player for us over the past few years. I think he's definitely been more important than people have made him out to be. However, this season, I am starting to get like to the end of my tether with him a little bit, because you can see he's potentially so much more than what he's giving to the game. And now I am starting to see it. I don't know. I just don't see that work ethic to try and put in a really good performance. And it's it's because you know he can do it. That's why you sat there thinking, why is he playing like that? I think today I thought he was going to, again, I thought, oh, he's going to take his chance here. He's got the number 9. Cavani's injured. It's a perfect opportunity for him. All I saw was him kind of tucking inside to the left. There was no runs being made in the middle of the box. He was very static on the line with offering little movement. Most of his touches were off the pace. When we got on the counter-attack, he kind of did a sloppy pass. And not many people played well today, so I'm not just targeting him. There was other players who could have played a lot better as well. I don't even think he obviously got on stats again. I don't particularly think Fernandes had a great game today. But Martial, it's just so poor from United number 9. I know people say he's not getting much service, but even with the service he had, he didn't really show anything that is the standards he should be at. And I think United's got a decision to make in the summer, because if he doesn't get back to his best, I mean, is he just going to be a bench player for us? I don't think he'd be happy with that. I think he's too good to be that. And you're going to need the money to try and buy a replacement for him. So it's whether you're going to stick by him or not.
Yeah, I think that is going to be interesting. A lot of Man United fans are kind of seeing it that way. If the right player comes in instead of Tony, do you let him go, or do you say, Tony, right, this is
the left wing, and now you've got Solskjaer. I know that's not how you pronounce his name.
Yeah.
The young kid that came on, and then you've also got Diallo, both wing positions there. Apparently we're interested in Sancho. I mean, we're not going to be able to keep all these wingers. Dan James as well and I think we're definitely going to try and go for a centre forward, because I don't think Tony can be that number 9 for us. As we've seen this season, we've seen the likes of Cavani come in and offer them things he's not offered us, which is kind of what our team needs. Where does he fit in the team? That's the question that is going to be asked.
What do you make of there's no Scott McTominay for injury, no Paul Pogba for injury, and Van der Beek. So, you looked at the bench and it was a bit slim. Usually we're quite top heavy in that area where a lot of players got to miss out.
Matic and Fred from midfield.
Matic and Fred. And I don't know about you, but I looked at that and thought, McTominay better not be out for too long.
Oh yeah, especially in the first half. With Matic and Fred starting, I knew what we were going to get. You've got the running of Fred and the staticness of Matic, and even though it should complement each other, it just really, really doesn't. I don't think there's much quick passing in the midfield, which is what we need. We need players that are going to progress the ball quickly, and Fred's passing today was totally off it again, constantly just hitting passes and be like, oh, I'm sorry about that. I was like, what have you actually seen there? That's and then Matic, I do think he made some good progressive passes today, but overall his play is too slow, and I think he sits too deep. So then you've got that gap between Bruno and the DMs, and that's why we weren't be able to progress up the pitch and get him many chances today. I don't think the midfield movement was quick enough, and we definitely didn't progress the ball enough, and that's why Newcastle kept catching us and getting us on the break. Yeah,
they did. Well, I think you said it best at the beginning that, it was all about the result. It was. And, we're looking to try and make sure we don't get pulled into a top 4 race with Liverpool losing, Chelsea dropping points, West Ham winning.
West Ham is absolutely.
They're not going away. They're not going away. So we got to keep winning and try and, at least cement second with Leicester on our tails.
The only thing that does worry me, just the last thing that I'm going to say, is even though obviously you're happy to get 3 points today, I do not think that style of play is good enough against a low block team. And we keep seeing the same things come into play. Set piece sloppiness today. Again, the defense was so shaky.
So are we making progress then? Are we progressing? Because what happens if we get to the end of the season like that?
We've made progress, but even Solskjaer said himself in an interview, he's more of a manager and he kind of leaves the coaching to do the coaching. He needs to bring a defensive coach in, or a tactical coach that's going to help him, because I think his man management is brilliant. And I do think there's a lot to be said for that in this day and age, because I was reading this thing about how Mourinho kind of killed off the academy and everything like that. And I do think we have made a lot of progress. Like, no one would have thought we would be second in the league this season. But this is the point where it's kind of sink or swim, and we keep seeing the same problems. And if that doesn't get sorted out, people aren't going to stand for watching basically no pattern of play today and little tactics I could see today. No one's going to stand for that. And then individual brilliance coming in and helping us again. So I do think in order to improve, he needs to stop getting draws against the top 6. That's a massive area you need to improve on. Set pieces, we cannot keep conceding goals from set pieces. And then obviously going forward against low blocks, we need to be able to pass through them. And you've got to work on patterns of playing, trading to be able to do that.
Lastly, who was your man of the match?
Happy with the 3 points. And I'd give the man of the match to Rashford. I think he played really well today. Was really lively around down the left-hand side and created a lot of chances. Thought Luke Shaw was dead good as well.
Yeah. Okay, well, hopefully we see Diallo get 90 minutes against Sociedad.
He sat there on the bench like, why is this 17-year-old coming on and not me?
Yeah, exactly. probably knows he's going to be captain and get 90 minutes on Thursday night. Yeah, see you then.
See you then.